BigPicture boosts the collaboration across the whole organization in a way that Jira cannot. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why it's so important. I'm going to show you exactly how it does that with several different examples. And I'm also going to change the way you're thinking about project management in Jira. And that's a promise. God, I love my work. All right, so let's talk about the difference between Jira and BigPicture in terms of collaboration. Jira is good in terms of collaboration as well. It's basically the tool that is process management tool, and it's advertised also by its creators that it boosts team collaboration, and that is true, but to some extent. I believe that Jira is great at making the information available within the single team, but when you go outside of a single team, it still does some job, but it can be done so much better. And if you introduce a tool like BigPicture on top of Jira, it takes the collaboration, the information flow to the whole new level. Now, the question is, why is it so important? Let me tell you something. I have been working as a project management for the last 18 years. And I am a person that likes to self-reflect on what I'm doing and why I'm doing things and how I'm doing things. So several years ago, when I was managing a team of project managers and we were running several different projects at the same time across the whole team, from time to time we were sitting down and doing our lessons learned. So one time I sat down, I took a look at all of those lessons learned, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go deep into this. So I did all that crap like root cause analysis, 5 times why, and all that, all those things. And my goal was to get to those root causes, to find out what is actually causing those problems. And I have to tell you that 80% of all the problems we had in our projects, I was able to boil down to someone didn't tell somebody else about something important. That's it. Communication, collaboration. This is what we were missing, and this is why I'm so crazy about it. This is why I'm mentioning so many times on this channel, because I believe that it is a game changer to the way the projects are being handled. And it carries so many benefits that you can't imagine. If you want to deliver your projects on time, on budget, and within the scope, then this is the way. Of course, collaboration, communication, these are not the only problems that the projects can face. That's why I said 80%. There are some other circumstances, but these are the most important ones. If you don't believe me, if you want to challenge me, please do. Do it in the comments. I dare you. I don't think you will be able to change my mind on this. So the question now is, how does BigPicture improve that? And let's jump to the screens that I have for you. This is the live system, so I said screens, I don't know why. But I'm going to talk about several different areas of BigPicture that actually, in my opinion, contribute a lot to making your team more aware of what's going on so that the information flow, the collaboration gets boosted tremendously. The one that I chosen to start with is the Gantt view. Why? Because Jira doesn't really have anything that resembles a professional Gantt. And many people crave this. They want to have the Gantt view because even if you have the agile aspect in your project management, portfolio management processes, a lot of companies actually have the waterfall aspect somewhere higher up in the hierarchy. And that's where they need the Gantt chart. That's where they need something that allows them to aggregate the data at the top level and show them in a Gantt-like manner. And this is why this view is so important. Of course, it doesn't only show you, the bars of the task and the placement in time. We also can see immediately the dependencies over here. So important. I'll get back to the dependencies again later. You can also see the deadlines. That the deadlines allow you to work better towards the goal that you have. You know how much time is left. You can make the decision whether you're going to make it or not, right? So those visual information are coming in handy for every individual that is basically working on the project team, but also everybody that is managing those teams, portfolios, programs as well. So that's one thing. The next one that I want to jump to is the board module. So the board module, this one is more focused on the agile approach. So basically you're planning in terms of some time frames. in my case, I have program increments over here. Underneath those program increments, I have sprints or iterations. I could go down to the lower level, but I actually don't have to, because even over here, I can see, okay, there is team unassigned over here, team DevOps, team ERP, team test 2, and I can see that there are dependencies flying between those teams, telling me that these are the areas that I need to be very aware of, because if something's going to go wrong, there is a high chance it's going to go wrong in the area where the dependencies are, right? So again, it gives me all that important information that I'm craving from my project plan. But the thing is that if you work with just Jira, this information is there, but it's not so easily available. It's not as visual. It's not as easy to find. And also, look, I have several teams on this screen, right? It's not easy to get the view like that from Jira itself, right? So another thing that you will be happy to hear. Another area that I'm really fond of is that BigPicture allows you to create those roadmaps, so global views, portfolio views, program views, and then these roadmaps can be designed to show the information that is relevant to certain groups of people, certain stakeholders, right? Your top management, your directors, your board members, whoever wants to look at this. You can create several different views. You can tailor those views to look exactly as you want, depending on what those people want to look at, what they want to digest. You can employ filters over here to show the data that they are interested in, so that everybody gets to see what they are interested in. And the beautiful stuff is that all of this is contextualized, right? So whatever I'm looking at, there's always complexity on demand. If I want to get deeper, it's in here. I can get deeper. It's not a PowerPoint slide that, if somebody asks me about some additional information, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I would have to check. I'll come back to you next week. No, right? Which actually takes me to the next point that I have over here, centralized information. You have central place for all the information, and your project plans are on top of your project items, which brings tremendous benefits. If you're still managing your projects outside of Jira, please stop. For the love of God, don't do this. If you have Jira already and you have the project management tool sitting next to it, outside of it, like Microsoft Project, like any other tool that allows you to manage projects, like spreadsheets, like smart sheets, please get out of this as soon as possible. I can't state enough how you're hurting yourself and the people around you. Just open the description of this video, copy the email info@geniusgecko.com, drop us a note, we will help you out. It's a promise. We will help you out. We'll tell you exactly what to do and how to get out of this, which tools to choose, and what is the process for the successful implementation. Just reach out. I can't have you sitting out there. Anyway, continuing. Things that are connected with centralized information. Even this screen that I'm looking at over here, this is already something that people benefit from, because I'm looking at this data and I'm like, okay, so I can see that this one is in progress, this one is not in progress. But if in the meantime somebody changes this epic to be in progress, I will immediately see this information over here. I don't have to wait a week for a status change. I get this information. I don't have to go and gather this information, ask people, hey, how are you doing? You remember this joke about the parent that learned to ask people how they are doing, and she became the project manager? You don't have to be that person, or you don't have to have these persons in the organization, because the information flow is immediate over here, and you constantly look at the data that is up to date. If you don't understand the benefits of this, I don't know what I'm doing over here. I'm probably doing something wrong. Moving forward, let me look at my notes. No repetitive updates. You don't have to go and update the stuff manually. You save tremendous amount of time on the manual work. You tremendous amount of time on communication that is going between people through emails that are maybe read, maybe not read. You don't know. Maybe someone sends an email, maybe he or she doesn't, right? So it's all in one place, and it's all available all the time. You have less meetings, less manual work. The next area that I want to touch is basically, I titled this cross-project, everything that goes across multiple projects, across multiple teams, across multiple iterations, for example, inside the project, right? So the benefit that you get over here is that BigPicture allows you to have all of this information in one interface, in one screen, in one place. So over here, I can digest the information coming from several different projects. The board view that I showed you earlier allows you to digest information across multiple different teams. Actually, let me show you another amazing view that you will like. Let me get back to this one, and let me go from the Gantt to the reports. There are two beautiful reports that I absolutely love because, again, they touch the areas that are very risky. So if you have the information about those areas, you're less prone to mess up with your project, which we all want to, all want not to happen, right? We don't want to mess up. So look at this one, team dependencies across teams. I can quickly see over here that DevOps and ERP are connected, and these tasks across these teams are dependent on one another. So this is where I can get this information from. The second one that I absolutely love is dependencies across multiple boxes, and those boxes in BigPicture, they can be projects, they can be your programs, they can be your program increments, they can be your iterations, they can be months, they can be quarters, whatever your structure will be. This report allows you to digest this information. So if I click over here, I can see, okay, I have a dependency coming from iteration 2, program increment 1, from this task to this task. I have another dependency coming from program increment 2 to program increment 1, from this task to this task. And based on this, I actually immediately see that this is something that is super risky. It shouldn't happen because program increment 2 is later, program increment 1 is earlier. So this is the wrong direction of the dependency. That this cannot be. So I have to go and do something about it immediately because I have the information to act, right? Which is so important. Let me look. So I said that. Yeah, another thing that I want to mention is that you can easily recognize your resource availability thanks to, of course, resources module. So resources module allows you to control your availability of your people individually, availability of those people across teams. So if you want to look at the level of teams as well, so look at this, right? I look at this screen, I'm like, okay, this guy is overloaded. It's actually me, so I'm overloaded. This guy is exactly on spot, right? It's 8 hours out of 8 hours available. So I definitely shouldn't assign anything else to this guy. I definitely should take some work away from this guy, yes, please do, so that he can be more efficient with what he's doing. And if I'm interested in what exactly are those people working on, I just enable the visibility of tasks. And I'm like, okay, he's like 17.8 hours here during one day. That's definitely not doable. What is assigned to him? Where is the information coming from? From here, from here, from here, from here, right? So you get this information, you can digest it, and again, it gives you something that you can take and use to fix the problem, right? Collaboration, information flow, again, the same kind of stuff. You, of course, also, thanks to this, you also get to identify the bottlenecks, either, again, on the level of individuals or on the level of the teams. Imagine that you're working in a way that one person can work on multiple different projects. Sometimes these kind of people can become bottlenecks because they have like the limited or very unique knowledge that is required across multiple projects, but you don't have enough of those people, so it creates bottlenecks. Thanks to this kind of tool that allows you to plan resources with enough information on the level of individual teams, you will quickly see that there are bottlenecks, and you will be able to fix it as soon as possible, so rather earlier than later. Next one, or actually still about resource management. So, of course, it will also allow you to avoid overbooking because of this information that you have available over here. It will allow you to use your resource in a more smart way, but also it will give you the information across, again, multiple teams, multiple resources about the absences that people have. So, again, the same thing that I mentioned at the beginning. Within a single team, people talk, people exchange information, and you can kind of know that the guy sitting next to you, he's going to be away next week, right? But if you go to the next team working on the same project, or if you think about someone from another project, you might not actually know this. And you will learn by writing to the person and getting an automatic reply from their mailbox, right? If you enter this information into BigPicture, and you can do it by the dedicated person that is responsible for this, you can ask the resources to do it individually. That actually only works for small companies. You can also import it through the API, so integrate with external tool. Very often this happens. You have the information about the absences of people in somewhere else. You can basically import it into BigPicture with almost no effort, except the initial one. And then you have this information over here, and you come to this view, and you can see that person is grayed out, not available. You go to the Gantt chart, you can see that the task basically is not going to be done on time because the person doesn't have enough available days, and so on, right? So again, this information contributes to everything that happens over here. You go to the team, you see that the team doesn't have enough days because, again, person or two people are missing for a certain period of time, so less story points, for example, are available inside the team in terms of their capacity. So again, information flow, collaboration, communication, it all contributes to this. Yeah, that's basically it. If you want this to be your reality, please don't wait for the right moment to come. It rarely comes. Just go into the description of this video, copy the email to us, info@geniusgecko.com, drop us a note, and we will help you figure out how to go through this process. If you match the profile of our customer, we will even do a free analysis of the best tool that you should go with when it comes to project management in Jira, because there are several of them. There are differences between them, so maybe this is not the right one for you. I don't know, but we will sit down with you, talk about the way that you're doing projects, and we will tell you exactly where to go. We will tell you how to do it. You can do it with us. You can do it with someone else. Just let us help you. That's all we want to do, because this is so satisfying. And if you're not ready to do this at this point in time and you want to consume more content regarding BigPicture, I'll link the video that is going to give you an overview of this tool. It's going to take you through all of the modules that you can see over here, so that you understand better what the tool actually is for and what it can do for you. So if you're interested in this, in a few seconds, the video will appear on the end screen. And with this, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in one of the next videos.